Hey everybody, Ben here for the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Tournament Tuesday. Every week we pick a tournament that's coming up in the next month or so, and we have a look at the build, we have a look at the rules, and we have a look at some of the rosters we think you could take to that event and have fun or be competitive. So eventually these tournaments are going to happen, and we're going to get to hopefully look at the actual rosters at the event as well, and look and find out who did well and what did well. Anyway, this week we're going to be looking at Lair of Heroes, which is coming up in France on the 5th and 6th of June. So hopefully with all these events the world will calm down and people can play Blood Bowl safely. So assuming that this can happen and it can happen safely, let's have a look. So Lair of Heroes is taking place in France. It's a 2-day event. So looking at the build here, we've got another tournament where there's a tier 1.5 added. So the rulebook's got tier 1, 2 and 3, tier 3 being stunties, tier 1 being the best teams out there, and tier 2 being everything in between. And some of the European tournaments we're seeing add an extra tier in there, 1.5. So Nobility, Necro and OWA are ranked as a tier 1.5 in this event. This is the first time we've seen OWA in that mixed group. So if you are tier 1 or tier 1.5, you get 1100 gold to build your team. If you're tier 2, you get 1.15, so 1,150k, so an extra 50k for tier 2 teams, and another 50k for tier 3 teams. That's 1200 TV, 1.2 million for those teams. So Nobility and Necro and OWA get the same gold as tier 1 teams, but they get slightly more SPP. So when it comes to building teams in this event, you get SPP to spend. So if you want to double, it's 12. If you want a single, it's 3. There's no rules here on whether or not they're going to be allowing randoms. Some of these tournaments we've seen allow random rolls, but you have to make them at the beginning of the day and you get stuck with them. Interesting one. This one, no rules to that fact. So tier 1, 30 SPP. So that's basically 5 normal skills. Tier 1.5, 36 SPP. So the only difference between a tier 1 and a tier 1.5 team is they get an extra 6 SPPs worth of skills. Interesting balance. Tier 2, get 36 SPP as well. So they get 50k plus that extra 6 SPP. And tier 3 just get it all, 1.2 million and 48 SPP to spend on skills. So that is 8 normal skills, or what, 4 normal skills and 2 doubles. You can take a ton of stuff here for tier 3. So what we've done is we put together a few rosters. We've gone for one from each tier, including tier 1.5, to kind of see how to take advantage of this set. So I've been jamming a ton of Orc games this weekend because I've been filming the formation setups for them, and I am loving the Orc roster at the moment. Not Black Orcs, just standard Orcs. So the tier 1 roster I put together for this event is Orcs. So tier 1 gets 1100, so 1.1 million, and gets 30 SPP to spread. So I've gone big with Orcs here. We've got 1 untrained troll, 4 big and blockers, 4 blitzers, 1 lineman and 1 thrower with 3 rerolls, and had 10k left over, so picked up an assistant coach. So 11 players isn't a lot. However, when you're Orcs, the only vulnerability is that thrower. We'll come back to why I've got the thrower in the roster. Skills-wise, you get 30 SPP. So we could have put a double on the troll, but I just went with a build that our friend Milton, who is a massive Orc coach, would love, which is 4 block on that big, and that gives 8 block on this team. We have 1 skill left over. We could have gone leader on the thrower, but actually went with tackle on the blitzers because I think tackle is always useful to have, probably a one of in your team. So tier 1 here, seeing we don't get a lot of skills, but tier 1 normally don't need it, and you can normally get enough of a team at 1100 TV. So the thrower. The thrower costs an extra, what, 15, 20k more than a lineman. You get sure hands, you get pass. Pass is going to be of no use. That's not what we're here to do. But sure hands is an extra skill. So if I'd had a 6th skill for this Orc team, I may have put sure hands on a blitzer and dropped that thrower down to a lineman. But taking the thrower and taking that sure hands has allowed me to boost up one of my blitzers to be tackle here. So what we could have done instead is use the thrower to get leader and drop a reroll for extra TV to get an apothecary. But quite frankly, I think we're most likely to lose 1 player at most here, and it's probably going to be the flipping thrower if anything goes wrong anyway. So you know what, I'm really happy with this roster, and from the Orc games I've been playing recently, this will pack a serious punch. 1 untrained troll and 4 big unblockers. You can deploy real strong on the line. You can just put your strength in depth. I love it. And if you're looking for Orcs, check out the setup formations video for them, because It's a real eye-opener when you start planning out how many different angles Orcs can smash face in. Anyway, that's my tier 1 roster. My tier 1.5 is nobility because, yes, I've been farming a ton of nobility games as well. In fact, I've got one later on today where I'm playing against Ian Triplo. So 1.5 tier, you get 1100 again, but you get a little bit more in the way of skills. 6 SPP. So nobility, I tried to fit everything I could in here. I've got the ogre, 2 blitzers, 2 throwers, only 3 bodyguards, but with 4 linemen. 2 rerolls and an assistant coach. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what you can do is drop a lineman and the assistant coach and take an apothecary, but I would rather have a spare lineman, and this is something I've learned from playing a ton of nobility recently, is that 12th player is so important. If you lose a thrower, you've got another one. If you lose a bodyguard, you've got another 1 or 2 or potentially 3. If you lose a blitzer, you've got another one. You're only going to be doing that for, 8 turns. It's not a problem. Losing a lineman, you're going to do it. Actually having that extra person on the pitch, and when you're running the ogre version, you're not likely to lose a ton of linemen, but going down 1 or 2 players, which can happen with low armor, because this team is fine, but it is a little bit vulnerable. You don't have the speed or the agility to make up for numbers, and you don't necessarily have the skills, so taking that extra bench is really important here. But let's have a look at the build. So those 2 blitzers, they both get dodge. 6 SPP apiece, become blodging catchers. They are fantastic. They are the tight ends of Blood Bowl. Love these blitzers. We've got 2 throwers. One has got leader to take our 3rd reroll. Now this team has got a load of wrestle and a load of block. Doesn't need rerolls all that often, but it will be able to just capitalize on some opportunities having those rerolls in there. And one of the other throwers has got block, so didn't have enough money to take a 4th bodyguard, so upgraded a lineman to another thrower to get a little bit extra edge and armor in there versus a lineman. And giving them block means that we've got 2 blitzers and another edge 3+ player with block as well. 2 bodyguards get guard to max out our 36 SPP, and you end up with 1 bodyguard loose to be your wrestling blitzer, 2 bodyguards with wrestle, stand firm, guard, 2 striking blitzers, a running pass block thrower, and a leader thrower as well. So you've got 2 good kind of ball carriers as well. One of them now with block kind of becomes a pseudo blitzer. This team, I think, is going to be really, really solid, and I know that they only get an extra 6 SPP versus tier 1. But that is the difference between having a block thrower and not having a block thrower. And that's going to come up 3 or 4 turns in a game. And Underworld for tier 2. So tier 2 get 1150 TV and 36 SPP. How can you not go Underworld with Hack Phlegm, especially 1150 gold pieces? You've got a ton of cash here. We've got the Rat Ogre, we've got the Thrower, we've got a Blitzer, we've got the Gutter Runner, we've got the 3 Skaven Clan Rats. On top of that, we've got 3 goblins, 5 snotlings, and 3 rerolls, and Hack Phlegm himself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is 11 players, including Hack Phlegm, backed up with 5 snotlings. Now those snotlings are there to maximize the swarming element. Okay, you're going to start with 2 snotlings most of the time here on the pitch, which means you've got 13 players, which means you can keep the Rat Ogre well fed, and it almost takes... it boosts up. Basically, every snotling you've got on the pitch should be able to get an extra assist, which kind of means that whoever they're standing by is 1 strength stronger. So each snotling basically makes a strength 3 goblin. That's how I'm kind of justifying this. Those 3 rerolls is going to be fantastic. Rerolls allow you to do crazy things when it comes to Underworld, so having 3 of them I think is really important. The only thing you could do is drop a reroll and take a leader on the thrower for reroll number 3 and use that cash to upgrade a couple of snotlings to extra goblins. I did consider this, and I think you can drop 2 snotlings and take a 4th goblin instead, but I really like having that swarming element here. This is Resurrection, okay? Your guys die, they come back next game. You don't have to worry about it from a league point of view, so you're not losing cash buying snotlings, which is fantastic. So skills-wise, you get 36 SPP here. So 12 are going on that Rat Ogre to make him a blocker. Blocking with Frenzy, Mighty Blow, and Strength 5 makes this dude just one of the best blitzers in the game. And you've got another blitzer here as well. So that Rat Ogre, having Animal Savagery means you can auto blitz. It might cost you a snotling, it might cost you a goblin if you're standing next to him, but he will do that, and then he will go on to blitz. And that means having block is going to be so useful. You can deploy him on the line. Strength 5 block is going to be really good to take a punch. Then Frenzy 4 dice with block is fantastic, and you've already got Mighty Blow, so he's going to farm through players. We've upgraded our thrower to have block. Okay, like I said, you can drop a reroll change that to leader, but I like the block sure hands thrower to be a really good ball carrier. The blitzer does not need anything. I did consider guard, I did consider mighty blow. You've got the potential there of taking claw as well if you want it, but the rat ogre is going to do the primary blitzing, and your blitzer becomes a secondary ball carrier. As does your gutter runner, who also gets block. I know it's not a very inventive roster, especially when it comes to underworld, but a blodge gutter runner with a block thrower, a block blitzer, a block roger, and then one block on alignment and one block and one wrestle on alignment. It just means you take this team. You've got Hackflem, who is an I've still spelt his name wrong. I got the scuttle bit right, but I've managed to put an L in his name, for goodness sake. Bloomin' Hackflem Shuttle Spike. It's a pretty conservative amount of skills here, and it's probably because I've been playing Orcs a lot and I'm thinking block is great. A couple of other things you can do is 2 heads on a goblin is always really useful, but maximising those Skaven players. Then we've got a thrower, alignment. I mean, you've got a ton of block then on this skill, and they've already got integral speed and skill, and you're going to have Hackflem and the gutter runner that's going to be a deep catching threat. You've got the thrower and the blitzer, who are going to be fantastic runners, okay, at that point, and you've got alignment as well. So you've basically got 3 Skaven blitzers, 1 blocking rat ogre, 2 awesome gutter runners, and a bunch of players to run around and foul with as well, as along with this cheeky little wrestle safety piece. He stands on the side of a cage, wrestles it down, and then the rat ogre or the blitzer or whoever the heck you want just runs in there and punches out the ball. Thrower sweeps her, grabs it, and chucks it to one of your 2 gutter runners. Absolutely awesome. But not as awesome as this roster. So tier 3 in this event. 1200 TV, 1.2 million. And then you get 48 SPP as well. So we've gone with Halfling this time. Okay, Griff Oberwald, Carla Von Kiel, 2 Dreamen, 1 Hefty, 2 Catchers, 7 Halflings. So what's that? That's 12 players plus 2 stars. No rerolls. Okay, but we've got the Master Chef. So let me just check this TV adds up. Yeah, it does. That is fantastic. So you got Griff. Griff is a monster. Movement 7. Movement 7, Strength 4, Edge 2+, Sprint, Sure Feet, Block, Dodge. The guy's fantastic. And he's got Fend as well, just to make him immune to Frenzy. He's also got his special power-up ability, which kind of means he gets pro once per game. And you've got Carla, who, let's face it, at Strength 4 as well, with Block and Dodge and Jump Up. And Dauntless is an absolute house. So you've got 2 Strength 4 dudes along with your 2 trees. Either one of those stars is fantastic, and you get to run both. Now, what we've done here with our SPP is spent 24. We spent half our budget giving both our trees block. There is no such thing as a bad tree with block, okay? It's fun to throw stuff around, but it's even more fun to roll 3 dice and make your opponent explode for each of them. The Hefty gets leader, so we lean on the fact that they get pass access. 6 SPP gets you a reroll. That saves you 60k. That meant we could take Carla as well as Griff. The Catchers. I love the Catchers. So skills-wise, they've already got Sprint. Sure Feet makes them very fast. I like Sidestep on them as well. So I've gone with Sidestep here, but your mileage may vary when it comes to Halfling skills. And I've chucked Jump Up on another one. He's going to be our primary paratrooper. He's going to be the guy that dies first. We're going to throw him over the opponent and just have him run around in the backfield upsetting things. You've got the Master Chef there to upset your opponent's plans. There's a good chance you're going to sweep all their rerolls, because with the limited skill set, leader probably not going to be seen quite as much because you've got a little bit more cash, so you can afford it. I think this roster is going to win games. Okay, the Halfling element is pretty tough, but you've got that Hefty. Okay, we've got leader, but also we've got Fend, which is a superb skill. Catchers are absolute scoring machines. They are underrated. Treemen are not bad, are they? Come on, guys. And you've got a bunch of Halflings there. This is a genuinely powerful roster, and I would play this. I'd play this all day. Out of these 4 rosters, though, you know, I love them all. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I would probably play with nobility because I'm painting up my Minotaur team. So that's what I go with. Anyway, that is my rosters and my suggestions for this event. Let's have a look at next week's event. So the event we're going to be looking at next week is the World's Edge Mountain Bash 4, which is on the 5th of June as well in Colorado, USA. It's 1 day, 4 round. Straight up 1.15 million, so 1150 for everybody. There are 3 tiers. Then the skills are predefined, so not SPP, not TV buy. This is just straight up. You get at tier 1 6 normal or 4 normal and a double. Tier 2 you get 8 normal or 6 normal and a double, and tier 3 10 normal or 8 and 1 double, with a limit of 0 to 2 skills per player and 0 to 3 skills of any one skill across the board, which will kind of hurt Amazons a bit, who like to spam block and guard, so that's quite good. We're going to see some varied lists. There's quite a lot of skills here, and I think that's pretty decent. 1150, you should be able to get quite a lot in your rosters, but still have it be low enough that it's going to feel like Blood Bowl. This amount of skills, tier 1 is probably about right. 6 is what we've seen with the Orc roster. 5 felt a little bit limited. Being able to boost one of them up to a double is pretty good. 8, tier 2 is probably the place to be here. The lack of doubles on tier 3 means that you're not going to be able to max out things like the trees. But if you've got a tier 3 team that will take regular skills and have up to 2 of them on a team, it could be pretty good. I'm thinking ogres might be quite fun for that one. Anyway, guys, please let me know your rosters. I would love to see what you would take to this event, because I think this is a pretty middle of the road format. I like it. It's not too complicated, and I think we're going to see the teams be the teams themselves, which I think, as we're starting out in the 2020 format, is really useful. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. We'll be back again soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.